Okay, this is going to be a very different one. It's nostalgia. And because I have Dory in my life, who is a magician when it comes to anything on computers. And when she does this, she's going to give me a link and I can send it to Vienna, because a lot of today will deal with Vienna. Okay? And John, I only wish that I would have sent you the things which I just found today when you were doing the documentary about Vienna. I found so much because I was looking. I learned something in life. If you're not an exact thinking person, you put everything that you will need at some future date in the wrong place, and then you can't find it. But today I found. Okay, so let me begin. What I said about memory, that as Jesse had said, nothing disappears, it just changes its image. All the people I love who died are in my memory, and that's the image that was given to me in place of the human body. My memory holds you. And that's what this is going to be about. I'm going to talk about my life, which is fascinating. In my life, whenever I needed something, somebody came to give it to me. I don't know how to explain it, but the best way in which I can explain it is that when I was 8 years old and I was faced with the hate of being Jewish in Nazi world, we got visas to Panama. When I had lupus and nobody knew what it was, I found a volunteer with whom I had worked in prison who had a relative who knew about incurable diseases. Whenever I have problems of any kind, my wonderful upstairs neighbor fixes them. He's in the painting also. There he is, Gary. In other words, I think there must be a reason. And the only reason I can think of is because I promised myself when I was 8 years old that I would change the world. I would make people stop hating each other. And the only way I could do it would be to show their image so the people would not be afraid of them. And here is the painting that will mostly do that. Okay. This is when we left Vienna. Kenny, can I give it to you to hold? I remember that day accurately. My father said to us, "Get dressed very nicely. Make believe you're an average family going for a Sunday afternoon walk. We're going to go to where the ship is for which we just got a ticket to go to Panama." And you know how impossible that was to get. So we're going to look at the ship. And my mother said, no, if we go on the street, we're in danger. They'll kill us. And he said, not if you decide to look as if you belong. Let's dress as if we were an average family, as if we were not a Jewish family, afraid for their lives. And that is how we went. And we went to the shipyard, and we saw what the ship was. And somebody stood there, and he looked at us, and he said, "Why are you here?" And my father said, because we want to see the shipyards. And we smiled and looked the way my father had said, look as if you belong. And he began to talk to us, and then that was that. And I guess my most important teaching at that moment was, if you want to do something, do it, but look as if you belong. Okay, now let's begin. I would like to begin painting. I want to show you where I'm putting the family. Kenny, look, here we are. And I want lots of respect for how difficult it is for me to paint without an easel. But because my hand is too weak, I can't use the easel. Here we are. My mother, me, my father, and my brother Richie. And this is going to be Eric's mother and Eric and his dog. Because...
Oh, so show that again, Mom?
Yes. This is going to be Eric's mother, Eric, and his dog. And you will see the photographs of everything as the time goes by, because this is going to be a painting of my real life. My real life was when facing terrible things, something always came to rescue me. I can't explain it, except maybe the universe knew that I was going to make people stop hating each other. Okay? So, let me take the photo back and let me show you the crippling ways in which I have to work, because this hand is too weak to paint like this. It's got to lie like this.
And can I read you some messages?
I'd love it.
Tammy says, everyone needs a Dory in their life. And Dory is watching.
Yes.
Hi, Dory. And Kathy?
You want to point Dory out?
Sure.
There.
Yes. And Kathy Lahan Cawthorn is watching, and she says, hi, Eddie.
And that is her dog and her horse. And that's Kathy, and that will be her dog, and that will be her cat.
Mm-hmm.
But Dory, the photographs did not come out. My printer didn't do it, so I use the computer when they're still in the computer. Okay.
Okay, wait, there's more. Tammy says, do you remember who took the photo of you looking like you belong?
I think my father must have asked a stranger, because there was nobody.
Yes.
They're just us.
Janine says, I love the idea of having your family in the painting.
Yes.
Tammy says, wow, you sure just gave us a plot twist. I love the evolution of your painting.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And you were part of it, because my mother wrote a book about her life, and in it she wrote, I'm doing this in the hope that people will also write and tell them. Oh, do you want to show that now, or
Whatever you...
No, let them show me, watch me painting.
Sure.
We'll do everything, because I intend to live a very long time, especially on Monday nights. Okay, first thing, I put my cloth on for cleanliness. I put on my glasses, and first of all, my mother was very beautiful, and I'm going to show you. Kenny, could you? The book is on top. And I was not. But it didn't matter, because she thought it was beautiful.
And do you want to say what this is?
Yes. This is a book she wrote about her life. And here is what she wrote. Why I wrote the book. We lived in Vienna, Austria until 1938, when Hitler took over the country. Life then became intolerable for us. We left for Panama, and years later came to the United States. As our children grew older and had their own families, the younger generation began to ask questions about the places from which we had come. There were many stories to remember, and I decided to write them down in book form. Uprooted people need to know where they came from, and stories by mouth, by brush, or by pen should fill the void and answer the question, who am I? If I am fortunate and my story is published, perhaps it might lead other parents to do the same. And the picture in back is of Poland, where she came from, because she always said it was so beautiful. Okay. Now, I'm going to be a different person. Today, I even put out the brushes I would need so that I don't waste time looking, okay? Mm-hmm. First, let me do my mother, okay? Since I don't see the face correctly here, let me take the other book, the one that has her portrait. Yes.
This one?
The one I was just reading from.
Oh, right.
I want the cover.
The cover, okay.
Thank you, okay.
Sorry, folks.
Now, this area is dry, and I planned it. Now, all of you who one day decide to work on details, please have the luck that you can use a wonderful feeling of an easel, because this is no fun. Remember what I said, because it's wet, you have to work in layers. So I'll just do flesh tones now, and then with this brush I'll do hair. She had dark brown hair. This is so much fun. I had a wonderful day today because Johanna brought me a wonderful woman to draw. And as all of you know, I would rather draw than paint. And one day we'll decide that instead of painting, I will just go ahead and show you how I do a portrait. Now, what I'm doing now is very carefully shape the face. I can't put in eyebrows or things like that because I painted skin color and that's wet. Remember, to do artwork in oil makes you quickly want to rush for a pencil and never touch oil again. Okay? See, this I can allow myself to do. Now with my mother, this is all I'm allowed now because of the wetness. But what I'm going to do is, she wore a trench coat, which all of you are familiar with because there was a time when women wore that. As a matter of fact, when I was being a volunteer in the Nassau County Jail, wait, first let me take the right color. And this Nutcracker, would you believe, still comes from Vienna. You can call it anything, but to be honest, I'm cheap. I don't waste anything. And that comes probably from having been a volunteer in the prison system, when I realized things are not easy for people. And the only supplies I let them use were pencil, because paint is so expensive. Okay. Now let me have fun. A coat is a joy to do because it doesn't have resemblance. As I started to say, when I worked in the Nassau County Jail, there were many volunteers, and we would come in dressed correctly, because that was before jeans became normal. That was so many years ago that women left jeans for the hippies. No. What she did was, the sleeve hung on the side, and the coat is here. This brush is not good because it's for tiny things, and so the strokes are not good. Hetty, get yourself another brush. I have many, but the right one is important. Here you go. And if you have any questions, Kenny and I will answer everything.
Well, let me say that Kathy Lahan Cawthorn says, I'm watching from my car, not home yet, I just couldn't miss your show. And Sally Weinstein Mann is watching.
Kathy is such a gift for me because she lives right here. Now watch. First, I have to do the background at the same time. Mom was wearing black. Black was something which I have to be very careful with, mainly because Tammy and Tracy are wearing black, and so is my new friend who's coming to visit me next week. And she's wearing black here. I have
a question for you.
Yes.
What does it feel like emotionally to be painting your mother at that unbelievably intense time? Just like, what's it like for you now painting her?
I'm not feeling her, because then I couldn't do it. But what happened when I first took the photo out and decided I would do it, it was very emotional.
Thank you.
Very emotional, because right now I'm with an audience. I'm not alone with her. I'll be alone with her, and it will be different.
Tammy says we are too transfixed by your painting to comment.
Then I would like you to think of what Mom said about having other people write. Because if we do not give our memories to the future, then the link we have is gone. We're the only ones who carry the people we loved. And ever since I came up with that theory, I've been sharing it with my daughter and with Kenny. And it's necessary because they feed in. I speak to them every night, and because of that, the world goes on. If you disown yourself from any part of the world, then it doesn't exist. Are you able to watch how I'm doing background at the same time as I paint?
I just wanted to get a view of you overall, but I'm back.
Okay.
Marie Davis says, you are very interesting. She and your artwork is fabric. I think she means your artwork in how you do fabric.
You know, it lies in everybody. We're just stopped when we're children because so-and-so does a tree better than you do, that kind of thing. And everybody is loaded with talent. What the talent is, I don't know, because we're all different. My talent did not come out until I knew that in order to make people stop hating each other, my purpose would be to paint them. Today, I had a wonderful day. This painting is going to be a celebration of Long Beach because I love Long Beach, and Long Beach is right now 100 years old. Actually, it was 100 years old at the end of this year of 220. But with this many people in it, I didn't get it done. Now, do you see what I'm doing? I'm creating spots that will allow me. Now, what do I do with my mother? Let me put a little bit of blue for shading, because the black is too harsh. And Kenny, if you would like, I would like to tell them about the books and show them. And my mother, no, let me go back to my father. When we fled to Panama, my father would go into a corner and write every night. And when I was 12 years old, he gave me a book. That little time left. Okay, Kenny, show the books.
Oh, sure. Okay, Marie says, sorry for the typos. It was supposed to be fabulous. Your artwork is fabulous. Okay. Do you want to talk about what they are?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We'll paint later.
You want to hold, and
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
take your picture.
This is from Vienna. I had the most wonderful teacher in the world.
And you've spoken about her.
I've spoken, and I would like Kenny to perhaps for next week put it on my
Sure.
wall.
Mm-hmm.
This was my teacher, Frau Lehrerin Vogel, which means Frau means lady, Lehrerin means teacher, Vogel means her last name, which was bird, Rosa Vogel.
And now I'm putting the camera on you.
Kenny
There's Hetty.
Yeah.
Little Hetty in the corner.
Okay. Vienna, here it is again. What Vienna did, there was a group of people, not Jewish people, who went from building to building where Jewish people had lived in a town called Leopoldstadt, which, as a matter of fact, there's a movie on it now, or no, a play. And it is where Jews from the persecuted regions of Poland, Ukraine, other places like that, picked out a district in Vienna and settled there. Just the way in New York, Italians went to Little Italy, Chinese went to Chinatown. And Kenny will show you this. Now, this book is a treasure. When I said suddenly you find people who help you when you need help, Kenny, could you point out Herbert over here in the painting?
Mm-hmm.
We found her, Herbert Neusiedler, who is a wonderful writer. And Dory, when you do the tape of this program, I will send the link to Herbert because I need to praise him. Herbert, the people who did this, called Stones of Memory, which is a living memory. He wrote about Jews were not allowed to sell anything, so they couldn't keep stores. And there was a woman who did go into a Jewish store, and the children on the street began to stone her because she had to wear a big sign, "This Aryan pig buys in Jewish stores." And when I saw that, I yelled to Eric, "Eric, I was there, I saw it." And the truth is, we weren't allowed to look out of the window because we were in hiding. But I did look, and I saw this. I saw the children stoning this woman who had this big sign saying, "This Aryan pig buys in Jewish stores." And Herbert wrote about it. And when I said that to Eric, he said, "Write immediately to the people who do that newspaper and let us know," and write to him. And that was Herbert. He had written that. And this book, which Kenny is showing you now, is when he ended up taking the story of my mother and father. Kenny, you could open it and show their pictures. And translated it into this book. And it says that he had written a book, my mother had written a book, my father had written a book, and this is the translation. And this book is a treasure which Herbert gave me. Herbert is a writer. I have all those books.
And this is her father's autobiography?
Yes. Mostly about the war, because he loved Vienna and he was a very brave soldier and got a lot of medals and was very proud of it.
And this is her mother's autobiography.
Are we done? Is the time up? Thank you. I love you all. And you will see a lot of this being not finished, but much closer to being finished.
You're getting lots of hearts and lots of tons of hearts and appreciation.